Hey, all right. Today we're looking at our third grade class and our make day. This is the day we're going to make some art. So first thing we want to do is go into our weekly modules. You should know by now. This is how we access those. I am going to try to make this look a little better. I don't like the way that little video thing posts over on the left. But we're going to be on page. What are we on? 8 or 9 today? I forget which one. Let me look here. We're doing the first studio time on page 7. There we go. And the page 7 has an interesting studio time. This is one where today we're going to be making art on the computer. And so we're going to first do the little lesson that they have here and looking at the little program that they've created here. And so you see over here on the left, they've got different little tools and color selectors and erasers and shape tools. I can choose that little star if I want to, and put a star here or there. If I don't like something, I can erase it. I'm going to choose a big eraser. I can erase it. Whoop, if I don't like it. Well, they really want me to use my mouse. I'm used to using my stylus here, but on this, they really want me to use my mouse. So I'm going to use my mouse. If I don't like something, I can erase it. I can choose my brush. I can come down here. I want to get like a pretty good sized brush. Choose a color. And I can come here and paint some cool stuff, make some neat painting things here. And that's pretty neat. And what they're showing you here is how you can draw using a computer. And it's kind of a neat little thing to experiment with. So have some fun with that for a minute or two and enjoy it when you get into this module on page 7. And it's kind of fun and neat. But I'm going to show you a much better way to create.
This will clear everything on your canvas. You can undo this if you...
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to show you an online program that you can do a lot of your assignments in. Turn them in, save them as JPEGs and turn them in directly without having to go spend a lot of money on materials for some of these projects. And so today we're focusing on line and what they wanted you to do here. Of course, we'll do it real quick in their little program so you'll see what we're talking about here. You're going to create lines, straight lines, curved lines, zigzag lines, and all kinds of different lines. But I'm going to show you in another program. The program we're going to look at today is called Chrome Canvas. And this is a free application that you can get. I'm actually just going to select it there. Chrome Canvas. If you put that in your Google, the first thing that comes up, it's right there. It's an app that you can use on your Chromebooks. Even the district ones have availability for it. If you want to use it on a laptop, a PC, a Mac, a desktop computer, any kind of computer. It's an online web-based program, and you can use it. I've even used it, I believe. I use it even for my phone. And so there's a couple ways that you can use it. I'm going to start a new image here, a new drawing, and you can see just like that online program that the module had in it, this also has lots of little tools over here. So the first tool you see in the top left is the palette tool. And the palette tool works 2 different ways. You have a basic palette that has a simple range of colors, mostly your primary and secondary colors, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, that sort of thing. But there is a custom color selector, and this is what we often refer to as the infinite range or infinite color selector. First of all, once I land on a color I like, I can then choose any hue of it, which means, any particular shade of it or value of it. I can choose any tint of it. If we add white to a color, we get a tint. If I add black to a color, I get a shade of it. So all of those ranges I can get. And I can move this down here and choose absolutely any color and have access to all of its tints and shades and values and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to pick a little pencil here. And this is the next tool. It's the size tool. It'll show you how large or small the tool you're working is going to be, and what we call the opacity or the transparency sometimes button. This determines how opaque or transparent. As you can see, as I move that little indicator from left to right, this little dot here gets either darker are lighter. And what's really happening is it's getting more transparent. We can see through it until it's completely transparent. All right, I'm going to put it in about sort of the middle, a little higher in the middle, just so we can kind of see how that works. But you also have a pen tool, you have a pencil tool, excuse me, a marker tool, a chalk or pastel tool, and an eraser tool. So with that pencil tool, and I forgot to change my size back. I'm going to go back to a very small size. There we go. And so I can draw with it. And because I've got it sort of semi-transparent there, the more times I lay it over itself, the darker it gets. I can make straight lines. I can make lines that come in one direction. We call those hatch lines. I can make lines that come back in a different direction. We call these cross-hatch lines. When straight lines cross over each other, we got cross-hatch lines. And you can see how we can create value by building those lines on top of each other more and more and more. We've got lines like curvy lines. It's very curvy. Very, very, very curvy. We've got zigzag lines. Zigzag lines start from one direction and they dart off in another. We've got something we call contour lines. What's a contour line? A contour line is the line that sort of follows the outside shape of an object. If I draw my finger, my hands, just the contour lines that make my hand are going to look something sort of like this. There's my thumb, kind of comes up, and there's my nail. And so this is a contour line. We'll talk more about those later on in the semester. But lines that show the contour, the shape of an object, we call those contour lines. And little pinky kind of crunched up in there. All right. So that's kind of like a contour drawing, the contour lines of my. I'm going to start a new one, and I'm going to, show you another cool feature. This is the top right. We've got the layers feature, and the layers feature lets you build things in layers. And I'll show you. I'm gonna go back to this layer. I'm going to choose my eraser. I'm going to make it as big as it can be, and I'm going to erase all of this. Watch this. All right, I've just about got it all off there. Erasing. All right. Now, I'm going to go back to look at my layers here. So I'm going to go to the layer that's the second layer, not the one on the bottom, but the one right above it. And when we have layers, it's kind of like having a clear piece of plastic on top of another clear piece of plastic. So if we draw on that one piece of plastic, we can take it away if we wanted to. We could turn it on or off using these little eyes, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. I'm going to start with my marker here, and I'm just going to draw a simple, real simple. That's too big. If I don't like something, I can use this little button up here, the undo button. I'm going to change my size again. I'm going to turn this way down. And I'm going to draw a real simple landscape. A landscape is where we look at what happens when the land meets the sky. Let me turn this off. In Kentucky, we have mountains very often in the backgrounds of our landscape because we have like the hills of Appalachia around us. All right. So I'm drawing a few mountains back there. Maybe there's a little river that runs kind of at the bottom of that little mountain. I'm going to draw the little river in. Maybe there's a little field here, and there's some picket fences and sort of that sort of thing. And I'm just doing a basic line drawing. You should have a lot of fun with this. Play with it. All right, I'm just about got my fence in there. All right, this is taking forever. Okay, come on, fence. All right, maybe this fence comes this direction, and I'm using what we call perspective. Oh, don't like that line. All right, those little fence posts that get close to me get a little bigger. All right, I'm giving that one a third rail there. Oop, I don't like either of those. All right, I'll put another third rail on some of these. Okay. And then maybe inside of this is a little horse. Hello, horsey. All right. I'm going to give him a little tail there. And horses have legs that sort of do this little number. But we live in Kentucky. You probably know all about horses. All right. So there's a horse in the field, and because he doesn't want to fall down, we'll give him all four legs there. And we want him to be able to see where he's going. We better give him an eye. Okay. So this is my basic little landscape. And because, I'm going to go back over here and show you again, I put that on layer 2. I've got a layer underneath there I can do something with. I can turn that layer off if I want to. Turn it back on. Turn that eye on and off. So first thing I want to do is I want to add some grass color. I'm going to select my little chalk tool. I'm going to select green because I want my grass to be green. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to make that really big because I want to cover grass, a big area and really quickly. But I'm going to turn my opacity on because I like the look of that transparent color. And because I'm going on the layer underneath, I can pretty much, I didn't select it. Let me try that again. All right. So if I'm going back to my layer, I'm going to now try this again. Select the layer underneath. Now, when I use my chalk, watch what happens. You see that fence? Look, the fence stays on top. I can still see it, but I can add that color underneath. So I'm adding on my green here for my grass. There used to be a song. I forget who sang it. The Green, Green Grass of Home. Tom Jones. That's who sang it. I'm sure you all know exactly who Tom Jones is. He's a very old singer from a time long before you were born. All right. Green, green grass of home. There it is. All right. So I've got my green grass in there. I'm going to go pick this again, this color. This time I want to get a blue because I'm going to do my river. And so now I'm going to paint the color of my little grass, the water in my river. And I'm just doing this quickly so you all can kind of get the basic idea. And in the background, I've got those mountains, but they're way off in the background and they're kind of darker. And so I'm going to do this one way back here, now, because things that further away from us sometimes kind of lose their value, I'm going to show that these are closer by making them a little darker, I think. All right, and there's this one. If you've ever been over to Berea, they've got some beautiful mountains. You can go hiking around over the pinnacles. You can go to Anglin Falls. Absolutely beautiful place. We're so fortunate to live in Kentucky where we've got all this beautiful stuff you can go see. I'm going to put a little sky in the background. I'm going with a bright orange sky, and I'm going to pick a pretty orange that I like. I like that a lot. All right. So I'm going to give myself an orange sky. Well, why is it orange? Well, in a second, I'm going to have to put in a sun. So I'm going to put my orange in for my sky. All right. Now, let's find a really bright yellow. Oh, how about that? And maybe the sun's going to be up in here. This is where the sun's coming from today. All right. What about my horse? I'm going to choose my little marker because I want a little more precision than I'm getting with with the pastel. So I'm going to make mine a little brown, but I kind of want him a little bit of a red-brown horse. I kind of like that brown. All right, so I'm going to use my marker and come in here and color in my horse. Maybe this is Secretariat or Man of War. These are old horses that have won the Kentucky Derby. All right. And again, because I'm working on the layer just beneath that black line drawing, I don't have to worry too much about, staying directly in those lines because I'll show you here in a second. If I turn that line drawing off, you'll see it looks pretty nice and clean. If I turn that line drawing off, watch what happens. Oh, look, that's a terrible color of that horse. But if we put the line drawing back, it's not so bad. looks pretty good. Okay, because we got that outline that sharpens and crisps up all of those little shapes. So this program is called Chrome Canvas. It's a fantastic program that you can use to make some computer art on. I would like to see you create some cool computer art. Keep drawing, and next week we're going to do another part of the module, and we'll look at how to create some more cool work using these applications, as well as other different types of media. Guys, thanks a lot. Enjoy your day. Have fun drawing. I'll see you next week.